have always loved farming itself, growing things, and that's my favorite part of making wine is the fact that it's basically like 90% farming. Being outside, having a connection with the land, I mean, it's something that really drew me in when I started looking into it, and I have no problem waking up before dawn and working 12 or 15-hour days, mainly because I love what we do and I love being in the vineyards, I love making the wines. When you love what you do, everything's easy. You know, having been in Napa now for a long time, I've become sort of a Napa Valley history buff. You know, I always think how amazing it would have been to be around back in the 1870s, 80s. There were so many great things happening. And the To Kalon Vineyard is something that's already well known and known for making the best wines in California. And To Kalon Vineyard Company has a history that a lot of people don't know about. And so just by people saying, well, what is To Kalon Vineyard Company? It opens up this whole story about the history and H.W. Crabb, and they think of the history of Napa Valley going back to the 1960s, but it's 100 years more than that. I also just love wines from special places, and being able to work with this vineyard and sort of bringing that history forward to me was super exciting. So there's something to that place. It wasn't Cabernet Sauvignon necessarily at the time, but fast forward to when Robert Mondavi started his winery, grapes would come in from this one particular vineyard, and the story is that he would just say, well, where's this from? This wine is amazing. And he came down to Oakville, saw the vineyard, apparently, like without his family even knowing, started paying more to these growers to make sure they kept getting the fruit. You know, there's something there, right? So, and then he bought the vineyard to build his winery. Obviously, it's known for great wines. The reason is of where it is. I mean, it's at the edge of the mountains. You have this great alluvial flow coming down, all these little underground creeks, more or less, that just create these cool gravel channels, and it just makes great wines, and it always has. So we are farming the To Kalon Vineyard 100% organically, and that's really important to me. Basically, like trying to have fewer inputs in the vineyard, fewer chemicals, fewer passes with the tractor. I think that's just the responsible thing to do. So we started farming 3 years ago organically. I do feel like there's more life in the vineyard now. You know, there's more beneficial insects, there's more animal life in the vineyard, and I feel like that's reflected in the wines. So yeah, we are thinking about the next generation and just trying to leave things better than they were when we got them. You know, for me, my favorite wines have always been wines from special places. You know, I love when you taste a wine and you say like, oh my God, where's this from? I want to go visit that place. Well, I feel like To Kalon has that strong character where, you know, when you taste the wine, you know that it's coming from a special vineyard site. And so what I want is to create a wine that really just captures the best that Napa Valley can do. And I think the vineyard obviously has that pedigree, but also I want to create a style that's sort of classic Napa Valley in a way too. So what I really want to do is to highlight the vineyard itself. So when I was brought in, the idea was to start with these very specific vineyard blocks and make a small production, very special wine. So with To Kalon Vineyard Company, right now we have 3 wines, and the highest beauty was the first wine we started with 2016, and that is a blend really of the best barrels that we make from all the different Cabernet Sauvignon blocks that we have on the property. And really what I want is like the best expression of that variety that we can get from the vineyard in that year. The character of To Kalon is powerful but very smooth tannins, classic Cabernet Sauvignon flavors, which means the savory tones all the way through those big blackberry tones. You can get all that in the vineyard. It's going to take on its own personality over the years, and you know, it started with 1 wine. We have 3 wines now. I mean, who knows what we'll do in the future, but it's meant to be something that's very artisanal and very specific, and I literally feel like I'm a part of something that's an important part of the valley and what's happening, and I feel honored really to be a part of it. The place that we're in and the way I feel when I walk the vineyard, I mean, that's the coolest part about it. when you finally open a bottle at the table and share it with people and hopefully they get excited about it, that's absolutely the most fun part of it.